think I'm live.
It says you're live.
Yeah, we're live. Back here in paradise. Hey TNK, how you doing tonight? Hi Michelle. Another beautiful evening in paradise. But for those who don't know, trainer, I own a gym in Oneonta. I get on here, hey TNK, I get on here, do some health and fitness tips, and I've got a really great one for you tonight. Go the fuck to sleep. And I've got a little story to share, so we'll just see if some more people hop on. But I'd like to share a little story of my own experience as a small business owner. Experienced a lot of stress with the startup of the business, only sleeping a couple hours a night, and how it affected me, and then what I've done to kind of bounce back from that. This is a pretty deep topic. A lot of us, especially in the United States, we shortchange ourselves on sleep. Yeah, that's a really hard struggle, working the graveyard shift. I did that for a month and I thought I was going to die. I often only get 3 hours of sleep. Yeah, that's absolutely atrocious. I don't know why we have to. I mean, there's certain industries where you need to have people awake at the switch. So I understand that we need to have some people suffering through that. But boy, it's a motherfucker. It's really hard. So for people that have to sleep during the day, I definitely recommend de-stimulating a couple hours before you go to bed. Do all your family stuff, 12-hour days and a night shift. Yeah, that's really fucking hard. So you're going to have to really focus on getting yourself in a really quiet space, a really dark space, maybe get an eye mask, get some earplugs, really shut yourself off from the rest of the world, and try to get your room cooled down so you can get some serious sleep. But this is a really big topic, especially here in the United States, because we shortchange ourselves on sleep, and we're doing serious damage to ourselves. It can actually damage your DNA. I'm learning about the ends of our DNA. There's this little thing called telomeres, and there's some studies showing that poor sleep actually damages your telomeres, which telomeres, earplugs help if you can sleep with them. Work for me. Yeah. I've been doing earplugs, and I actually stack a couple pillows on either side of my head so that I don't wiggle around too much, and that helps me keep the earplugs in. So it is a real struggle. I've been there for the last couple years. It's not really that fun. Starting to get ahead on it. I think there is probably some hormonal things going on when you get to the point where you're not getting enough sleep. Your endocrine system is probably trying to keep you going. TNK is lucky she doesn't have any sleeping problems. That's fantastic. But my story, 3 years ago I opened a CrossFit gym, and it's been a struggle, as any small business starting up is. A lot of stress, a lot of late hours working, answering emails, writing programming, working on the business plan. And I got to the point where I was sleeping less than 6 hours a night, some nights only 4 hours, and getting up and going back to work. And that worked for about 6 months, and then everything started to fall apart. I looked like hell, and my body composition changed radically. I went from a very lean, very muscular 200-pound guy to just a really squishy, soft 200-pound guy in just a matter of weeks. And it was just a compounding effect of training too much and not sleeping enough. And instead of turning my life around with sleep, I decided I was going to train more. So I started training 2 or 3 times a day instead of 1, and I got squishier and bigger. When I finally realized that it was the sleep that I was missing out on, I cut back on my training and just focused on sleeping as much as possible. So in between classes, I would grab a nap. I would try to just totally destimulate. So Scope 64, I get home at 7:30 and usually wake again by 11:30, but don't need to be at work till 7. That's really hard. I've been working with some zinc and some magnesium. There's a product on the market called ZMA. The minerals, zinc and magnesium. Zinc helps you recover. It kind of helps you build yourself back up. And magnesium helps you stay asleep. It's not going to put you to sleep, but if you have a problem waking up, like that's what it sounds like. You're getting to sleep at 7:30 and then waking up at 11:30. So that 4 hours, it may be some pretty good sleep, but you probably need another 4 hours to really get the most bang for your buck. So see if you can take some ZMA. I don't have any deals with them or anything. I've actually never bought their product. I'll just take zinc and magnesium. I'll just buy it from a health food store. And it does help me stay asleep. If I do wake up, because I try to get to bed at 9, and if I wake up at like 3, I used to just stay awake at that point. Now I can actually get back to sleep. You want to be really careful, Scope 64, that you don't take too much magnesium to start, because it can make your stools really soft, almost like diarrhea. So you want to titrate up really slowly. Start out with a little bit, and if you don't notice any problems with your bathroom, then slowly add a little more. I should actually figure this out. I'm taking 2 capsules of magnesium, and I don't know if they're 250 milligrams. I'm not sure. TNK's got a great question about meditation. That really helps to de-stress. That's a fantastic, fantastic way. If you have a hard time falling asleep, there's a lot of free guided meditations. Is it Harvard? There's some really legit schools out there. I think Harvard Medical School has guided meditations you can do for free online. Just plug it in on your phone, put your headphones in. Melatonin, yeah, if that works for you, fantastic. I never really had much luck with melatonin. I tried it a little bit for a couple months and I didn't see any difference. For me, it was just de-stressing. With my job, I'm pretty stimulated at the end of the day because that's really a busy class. We've got a lot of people and they're really going like gangbusters. They just got off work and they're really crushing their workouts, and it's exciting. It's really fun for me. And I kind of walk out of there on a high because just seeing people make progress is really exciting for me, and seeing people get results is super exciting. So even though I've got an hour ride to get back home, because I live out here in Paradise, let me spin it around. We live out in the middle of nowhere. So I drive about an hour to get to my gym and then an hour to get back home. We're actually trying to sell the house so I can get closer because I really want to be at the gym all the time.
UCLA?
Oh, UCLA, those guided meditations, maybe in addition with melatonin if you have a hard time falling asleep. Guided meditations really help. They seem a little goofy. The first time I did one, how much lot size? Oh, I got 12 acres. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. We got a big old beef ranch, grass-fed beef, right out in front of our property. The guy bought, miles and miles of farmland out here. So there's this beautiful cattle ranch out here that we get to watch, and they've got actual cowboys working the cattle. It's really cool. So it's a lot of fun out here. But I want to get closer to the gym. That drive, that's an eighth of my day that I'm just stuck in a car. So that's just wasted time, in my opinion. But guided meditations, if you have a hard time falling asleep, try that. The first time I did it, I thought they were very goofy. Yeah, we really worked hard to get to this place. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of opportunities around here. So we're making our own opportunities when we can. And then if we can sell the house, I'll just be going like gangbusters at the gym all the time. But it's been a lot of fun. We've been here for 9 years almost. Yeah, so we built the house, started in 2006, built the house, passive solar, works really good. In terms of getting to sleep, though, you got to cover your eyes because there's a lot of light that comes in, especially from the moon at night. But yeah, guided meditations. When I first started guided meditations, I thought they were silly, and the next thing I know, my brain turned off. And I said, oh shit, that stuff works. So be patient with it. It may seem a little hippy-dippy to you, depending on what your experience is, but it actually worked for me really well. I've gotten to the point now where I don't really have trouble falling asleep. I fall asleep pretty good. But if the guided meditation is a little too goofy, maybe listen to a really boring book on audiobook. I used to put in the Odyssey. When the guided meditations kind of put me off for a little bit, I put on the Odyssey by Homer, and that shit would put me to sleep in minutes. It was great. And no offense to Homer, I love that stuff, but it did put me to sleep pretty good. But if you're having trouble staying asleep, I would recommend some magnesium and a little bit of zinc, and then just titrate up really easy and slow on the magnesium. Start out with like half a capsule, then go to a full capsule, and if you notice a difference in your guts, back off a little bit. But hopefully that helps you stay asleep. Working that night shift is really hard because your body sees the light and says, well, it's time to get up. And it's like, no, I'm getting home. I'm supposed to be going to bed. that's a really hard thing to do. So if you can get to sleep, fantastic, and then try to stay asleep with a little bit of magnesium. Just look up ZMA, Z. I don't know what
I'll type it in.
What would be the? How do the military guys do it? Z as in zebra, M, yeah, ZMA, exactly. Thanks, Michelle.
Yep.
So Google ZMA. Their product is supposed to be really good, but I just take zinc and magnesium separately. Zulu, exactly, TNK, fantastic. I don't know how I forgot that. That's too funny. Zinc and magnesium. That's basically all I wanted to get on here tonight to talk about. In terms of training, watch anything Carl Sagan talk about put you to sleep guaranteed. That's a good point. That's a good point, Scott. That's funny, man. I do miss Carl Sagan, though. He was cool when I was a kid growing up. He was a really smart dude. But I wanted to get on here and talk tonight, because we train really hard in CrossFit. We work out really hard. And then if you're not getting enough sleep, all you're doing is breaking yourself down, 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 down. And when you sleep, that's when your body repairs and rebuilds itself. And it's the biggest part of a really healthy training program is to get enough sleep. If you think 6 hours a night is working for you, great, but try getting 7 or 8, and you may see even more improvements. My best health and fitness was when I was getting 9 hours of sleep a night, and that's what worked for me. The interesting thing is if you look at natural sleep labs where they don't do any drugs and they don't do any machinery, they actually just focus on getting people to just stay in bed and sleep more. They'll take people with really bad sleep hygiene and really bad sleep habits and lock them in a room for 12 hours. And all they've got is a bed, a blanket, a pillow, and no lights. There's nothing in there. You just go and you lay down for 12 hours. And those people, the first couple weeks, they're maybe sleeping 4 to 6 hours. And then over weeks, they get to the point where they're sleeping 9 and 10 hours, sometimes 11 hours. And then after a few more weeks, they moderate back down somewhere around 8 or 9 hours. On average, most of those people at those natural sleep labs, they kind of level out around 8 or 9. So that kind of indicates to me that the human body is optimized to get 8 or 9 hours of sleep. So I understand if your job is really damaging your sleep, you just got to fight to get as much as you possibly can. I definitely don't want to take away from your family and your loved ones, but we have to prioritize ourselves first and foremost. If we're not giving ourselves 100%, we won't be able to give our loved ones 100%. If you're always underslept, you're probably going to be cranky. You're probably going to feel really bad. You're probably not going to be very active. And so that's going to detract from your time with your loved ones and your family. So we have to give ourselves permission to give ourselves 100%. That way we can give everyone else that we care about, and our careers, our businesses, our training, we'll be able to give everything there 100%. So it's not a condemnation to anybody. I understand if your job's really beating you up in the sleep department, that really sucks. But you got to really take care of yourself. And so I hope some of these tips help. If you want to follow me, I'll be talking about sleep. I've been on here a couple times before talking about sleep. I try to be on here at least once a day. Sometimes if I see something goofy or read something goofy, I'll get on here and rant a little bit. But yeah, just if you want to follow me, we can talk about this some more. I'd be really interested to see if any of this helps, especially if you've got that day shift or night shift. And then, yeah, Scott, good thing, man. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. You're welcome, TNK. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you have a great night's sleep. See you, Scott. So, yeah, just follow me. We'll talk about fitness. We'll talk about nutrition. See you, Scott. We'll talk about sleep because those are really huge for performance. Oh, she's right here. TNK says hi.
Hi, TNK.
We're just out here enjoying the sunset. It's really key for performance. It's really key for health. So definitely take care of yourself. Get that sleep. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll talk again tomorrow.